Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for joining me today. So I think you can see that I have a very special guest with me here, which I'm sure needs no introduction, but if you're interested to find out who this is or to find out more of what he's been doing, then please keep on watching. Okay, so I have a very special guest here today, which I'm sure needs no introduction because many people know of his wonderful work. But I'm just going to give Robert an opportunity to introduce himself. So, Robert, please tell us about yourself.
Hey everyone, my name is Robert Kaplinski. I'm an educator in Southern California. I love working with teachers and supporting math teachers. I am co-founder and run the website Open Middle. I'm president of Grassroots Workshops. I created the Observe Me movement, and I just really am passionate about working with educators and especially math educators.
So, just a little bit of a profound impact on maths education and education in general, I would say. You probably know of Robert's main work, which he started in terms of the open middle problems. Robert, I suppose we want to know. I mean, it's such a wonderful resource that we can constantly dip in and out of. And I love how you have created a huge community that actually contributes to this beautiful idea and resource. What was the impetus for that? Like, how did you even come up with such a wonderful idea?
I'm going to give credit where credit's due. So Dan Meyer was doing a presentation, I think, in fall of 2012, and he was talking about making math more like video games. And he talked about the beginning, the middle, and the end of a problem.
Mhm.
And it was really more nuanced than I ever thought about it. So if everyone begins with the same problem, it's not an open beginning problem, it's a closed beginning problem. And you don't really hear people talk about beginnings, but you do hear people talk about endings. So people will say, oh, I love open-ended problems. But a lot of
Mhm.
times people are not really, that's not what they mean. So let me give you an example. If every student ends a problem with the same answer, it's not an open-ended problem, it's a closed-ended problem.
Mhm.
And what's really interesting is when the middle is open. So that means that if it's an open middle and a closed ending, then all students are using different strategies to get the same answer. And so you can have these fabulous conversations about, I added 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5. Another kid said, well, I did a drawing to represent that. Someone said, well, I multiplied by 5. And then you have these conversations about how they're connected. There's definitely value with open-ended problems as well. But
Mm.
problems with open middles are really important. A closed middle problem for perspective is like, solve this problem using the standard algorithm. Well,
Mm.
there's not a lot of opportunity for creativity there. So
Mm.
that presentation was eye-opening. And we
Wow.
started collecting and creating problems. And then we eventually had so many problems we needed to house them somewhere. And so we created
Mm.
openmiddle.com. And it resonated with people because they're
Yes.
strangely fun and they
Mm.
help build conceptual understanding, lead to great conversations, help spot
Mm.
hidden misconceptions. And so we started making more, and then people started submitting more. And probably half the problems on the site are from people that I don't really have a connection to in daily life. So it's
Mm.
really, like you said, a wonderful crowdsourced collection of math problems.
Yes, and that's what I love about it. I teach at Hong Kong University here. I'm based in Hong Kong, and I've been using them with my PGDE students. So that's their teaching qualification. So they have 1 or 2 years experience, and we've been looking at the open middle problems and just the scope of where you can go and the different directions and the value of ensuring that all students' contributions and whatever route they take is showcased, in this way. And but at the same time, it's so simple. It's not a complicated spending hours, creating these types of problems. So, thank you, Robert, for this contribution to the world in terms of math education. And it really has had a profound effect, I think, on lots of people's classrooms to allow students to explore, to inquire, to engage in a more exciting way.
I don't know that I deserve all that credit, but I'm flattered and appreciative.
Yeah.
Obviously, when you spend time on something, to hear that it makes a connection with other people, and then it's
Yes.
supporting others, like what higher compliment could there be? So thank you.
Yes, yeah, great. I think it's important that you know and hear that from us. Now, your current project is to do with grassroots workshops. So, can you tell us a little bit about that? Because again, you're contributing to teachers' professional growth and learning in a different way now.
Yeah, I would say that maybe what I like is spending time in the gaps where there are problems, but not really solutions to meet that problem. So if you think about traditional professional development,
Mm,
most professional development is done because that's what's easiest to deliver, but not necessarily
mm,
what's best for teachers. So we've
mm,
all had that PD where here's what we're going to talk about, and you need to figure out now how to make this work in your classroom.
mm,
Or maybe you're in the PD that you probably think you could lead even better than the person leading it, or it's a 1 day or even 60-minute training, and like,
mm,
what can you really learn in those 60 minutes that you're going to be able to implement?
mm,
And just a lot of, out of the classroom, it's
mm,
hard because you don't want to be away from your kids, but then you don't want to feel like, how much can you help them if you never make time for your own professional learning? So
mm,
grassroots workshops provides flexible online workshops from education leaders that teachers know, like, and trust. They're
mm,
in mathematics and social justice, teaching remotely,
mm,
STEM, and some upcoming ones, and even English and science. And so really we're trying to give teachers an opportunity to really have more choice, right? We're expected to differentiate for our students. Now professional development gets to be differentiated for you. So that's really the
mm.
vision and the long-term goal.
Beautiful. And I'm going to make sure that there's a link in the description box below as well to that, so that anyone watching can go and have a look at the beautiful offerings that you have on that. Now, another project, I don't know where you find all this time, Robert, but another project that you've started is supporting education consultants. How did you, start this?
There's a story that I don't know if this is an international story, but I'll unpack it. Well, there's Starbucks everywhere, I imagine. And one story that you hear, a feel-good story, is that a person will be in a drive-through and will buy their coffees, but also for the coffees of the car behind them. Now they drive off. You'll never really know who that person was, but you just drive up and you find out that your coffee's already been paid for. And then what do you do there? Do you just say, okay, or do you pay for the person behind you? And what they found is that chains have started where you've got hundreds, hours long chains of people paying for the person behind them with really no expectation.
Mm,
And I think I have to acknowledge that I came into educational consulting in that chain. When I
mm,
was first coming up, people helped me. They had no need to help me. I had done nothing to deserve what they were offering, but they
mm,
helped me. And it's a debt I can never repay. And I feel
mm,
this obligation to continue this drive through this chain
mm,
where
mm,
I'm supporting people. There's so many people who could support
mm,
so many others, but like a puzzle piece will be missing. They don't know how to deal with trademarks, or they don't know how to
mm,
find clients. And I feel
mm,
like we are, I mean, I don't mean this, I hate the phrase we're all in this in together, but the reality is it's in our best interest to help kids learn as much as possible, to support teachers as much as possible. And there are billions of dollars being spent on professional development, so everyone can win. So
yes.
it's really a community where it's like half professional development and half group therapy, where we're just like sharing ideas and commiserating about like struggles. And so really, I think the culture of the community has become just really authentic and genuine and supportive,
Yes.
and I love being a part of it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you and echo that. It is like therapy. I think all of us, I'm part of the group, we all feel safe, secure enough to be able to ask anything and to have the support from the network, because we're here and I love how you use this analogy of the Starbucks people, of paying for drinks and things. And that does happen. I think when I started consulting too, Robert, I can share the same story. There were people that showed all this generosity and kindness to me, and they had no reason to do it. I didn't deserve any of their time and effort. And so it's so nice to be able to share whatever you can or just pay forward in some way. Yeah. So,
Absolutely. So
yeah.
it's a fun community to be part of.
It is. So thank you for that. Now, I know that there are a lot of resources that everyone can go and have a look at in terms of what Robert has created. So I'm going to put links in the description box below. I want to say thank you so much for your time today, Robert. And it's been an honor, I think, to just have you as a contact to bounce ideas off. And I just want you to know that you're appreciated.
The feeling is absolutely mutual. Thank you.
So thank you. So thank you for joining us today, everyone. If you have any comments, please put a comment in the section below. And I really hope to see you next time. Bye.